Hello everyone, I am Dr. Nivedita Chakravarti. I'll be showing you a case of a 44 years old male who had history of trauma followed by ulnar-sided right wrist pain. Radiograph of the right wrist joint was done outside. These are the PA and lateral radiographs. Let's have a closer look at the lateral radiograph. The first thing we notice here is that this is not a true lateral radiograph. And how do we decipher that? Because on a true lateral radiograph, the volar margin of the pisiform shown in yellow should be in between the volar margin of the scaphoid shown in purple and the volar margin of the capitate shown in green, which is not so in this case. Over here we see that the volar margin of the pisiform is somewhat in line with the volar margin of the capitate, which also means that we won't be able to comment on the distal radio-ulnar joint alignment as it is not a true lateral radiograph. However, we notice that there is a subtle step off at the base of the ulnar styloid process shown by the red arrow, concerning for a non-displaced ulnar styloid base fracture. Now, ulnar styloid base fractures are known to be associated with TFCC tears, and therefore we went ahead and did an MRI for this patient. Now, before interpreting our patient's MRI, let's have a look at the normal TFCC and its components. Triangular fibrocartilage complex comprises of a fibrocartilaginous TFC disc shown in purple on this coronal schematic representation. On the ulnar side, the TFC disc attaches near the ulnar styloid process by a superficial lamina shown in red and to the ulnar fovea by a deep lamina shown in green. On the radial side, the TFC disc attaches to the cartilage overlying the distal radius shown by the red arrow. We must note here that the TFC disc attaches on the radial side to the cartilage and not directly to the bone. The other components are the ulno-lunate ligament shown in yellow and the ulno-triquetral ligament shown in blue. And as the name suggests, they attach to the lunate and the triquetral bones. The orange colored structure is a meniscus homologue which extends from the ulnar styloid process along the ulnar margin of the triquetrum and finally to the base of the fifth metacarpal. The grey colored structure overlying the meniscus homologue is the ulnar collateral ligament. On this axial schematic representation, the purple colored structure is the TFC disc which attaches to the cartilage overlying the distal radius shown in white. Anteriorly, the TFC disc is inseparable from the volar radio-ulnar ligament shown in green, and posteriorly it is inseparable from the dorsal radio-ulnar ligament shown in yellow. However, note that both volar and dorsal radio-ulnar ligaments directly attach to the bone of the distal radius, unlike the TFC disc which attaches to the cartilage, and that's how we differentiate these structures. The small round blue color structure adjacent to the dorsal radio-ulnar ligament is the extensor carpi ulnaris tendon, and its sheath is also a component of the TFCC. Let's have a look at the normal TFCC and its components on the MRI images. On the STIR coronal image, the red arrow shows the central TFC disc. The yellow arrow shows the radial attachment of the TFC disc to the cartilage overlying the distal radius. The green arrow shows the deep lamina of the TFC disc attaching to the ulnar fovea. On this image, the red arrow shows the superficial lamina of the TFC disc attaching to the ulnar styloid process. On this image, the red arrow points to the meniscus homologue, and we can see the TFC disc attaching to the meniscus homologue. The yellow arrow points to the linear hypointense structure overlying the meniscus homologue, and this is the ulnar collateral ligament. The green arrow points to the deep lamina attaching to the ulnar fovea. Here, the red arrow points to the central TFC disc, and the yellow arrow points to the linear hypointense fibers extending to the lunate bone, indicative of ulno-lunate ligament. The green arrow points to the hypointense fibers extending to the triquetrum, and this is the ulno-triquetral ligament. On this coronal STIR image and its corresponding axial image, the red arrow points to the intact volar radio-ulnar ligament, and we can see it is attaching directly to the bone of the distal radius. Now on this image, the red arrow points to the dorsal radio-ulnar ligament, and here also we can see that the dorsal radio-ulnar ligament attaches directly to the bone of the distal radius. On the axial image, the yellow arrow points to the extensor carpi ulnaris tendon. Now let's have a look at the MRI of our patient. On this coronal STIR image, the green arrow points to the non-displaced ulnar styloid base fracture with presence of edema. We can see a linear horizontal hypointense line running through the base of the ulnar styloid process indicative of its fracture. And the red arrow points to the intact superficial lamina of the TFC disc attaching to the ulnar styloid process. Now on this image, the red arrow shows the tear of the ulno-triquetral ligament. So we can see there is a focal discontinuity of the ulno-triquetral ligament and also presence of edema, suggestive of its tear. The yellow arrow points to the intact ulno-lunate ligament, and the green arrow points to the partially injured but intact deep lamina of the TFC disc attaching to the ulnar fovea. Here, the green arrow points to the meniscus homologue, which shows hyperintense signal and surrounded by edema, suggestive of its injury. The yellow arrow points to the intact ulnar collateral ligament. Here, the red arrow again points to the partially injured deep lamina of the TFC disc attaching to the ulnar fovea. Now, on this TER coronal image and its corresponding axial image, we see that the volar radioulnar ligament is injured as seen as hyperintense signal within, but it is intact. On this coronal STIR image, we see intact dorsal radioulnar ligament. And how do we see, just on this coronal image, how do we say that this is a dorsal radioulnar ligament? Because in the same section, we can see the extensor carpi ulnaris tendon shown by the green arrow. Now on this sagittal STIR image, we can see the red arrow points to the intact biconcave central TFC disc. The green arrow points to the extensor carpi ulnaris tendon, which is surrounded by edema indicative of its sheath injury. Over here, the red arrow points to the intact radial attachment of the TFC disc to the cartilage overlying the distal radius. Now, there is a Palmer classification for the TFCC tears, and we are interested in the type 1 tears which are traumatic. In type 1A, there is a central disc perforation, which was not seen in our case. In 1B, there is ulnar attachment avulsion with or without distal ulnar fracture. This was present in our case. In type 1C, there is distal avulsion of the volar ulnocarpal ligament. This was also seen in our case, as we have seen there was a tear of the ulnotriquetral ligament. In type 1D, there is radial attachment avulsion with or without sigmoid notch fracture. This was not seen in our case. So our final diagnosis is undisplaced right ulnar styloid base fracture with type 1C TFCC tear. Thank you.